Yeah, I couldn't wait. Hey, it's Romania Black, and I'm on episode 5 of Windbreaker, and I'm going to be so for real with you all. Today's just been a really not fun day. Do you ever have those days at work where from 8 a.m. on, it starts out at a low and it just keeps going lower? That was today. Today just kept getting worse and worse, and I kept telling myself I couldn't. I was like, rein it in, be a nice, positive, optimistic person. But it's one of those days where it just was in the toilet from the get go. And I have been so frustrated with today. And I got home and I've ate dinner and I was like, I need to watch something that's going to make me happy. And so my solution is, if anything is going to make me happy, it's going to be Windbreaker, because this series has been so much fun. It's been so enjoyable, and we've kind of reached this new arc where Sakura and all of the Bofurin people so far that are in his close circle have decided to take on the rival gang that Togami and this new fellow are now in charge of. So we have Togami that's in charge of it. Umamiya is, the leader, and we have all these other players that are now involved. And so we're gonna have a tournament arc, maybe, possibly, seems like it. We're gonna have some 1v1s at least, which is exciting. But yeah, I know I'm watching ahead, but I just needed to watch something happy today, and Windbreaker is going to do it for me. So I'm super excited. I do have a couple comments real quick that I want to talk about. Black Widow Queen for episode 1 said Sakura's character design was quite literally inspired by the author's cat. And you can really tell. Extremely stray cat coded. I love that. I can totally see that. Looking at Sakura, I get the cat reference. I could totally see the mangaka doing it. Love that. Love that for him. The A Martin, or Thea Martin, 0524 for episode 1 says, yes, you finally met the one who we consider the love child of basically every black hair and white hair doomed yaoi ship ever. I fell in love with Sakura immediately as well. Yes, Sakura, I love this little bean. He's so precious. But yeah, the idea of him being the love child of every black and white doomed yaoi ship, I see it. I love that. That's amazing. And then 2 a.m. Cryptid for episode 1 says, I love Sakura so much. He's one of my favorite characters, with one of my favorite character tropes being a tsundere boy. Coincidentally, Kyo is one of my all-time favorite tsundere characters who shares the same VA. You also missed that he voices Ueno Yama from Given, who is also slightly tsundere. Yeah, Kyo for sure. Absolutely, in the New Fruits Basket, but I've not seen the New Fruits Basket, but I do know that he voices Kyo. I know the manga, so I know who Kyo is. And then I forgot about Ueno, which, yes, Ueno is such a good tsundere boy, but we'll see where the shipping takes us. We'll see where it goes. So anyway, thank you all so much for your comments, for your support of this series. It has been so much fun so far, and I'm so excited to dive into this episode. Before we start, I do want to give a shout out over to our philanthropy tier over on Patreon to thank you all so much for your support. Patreon, it funds everything on the channel, subscriptions, funds the hosting sites, does everything for me. And so I really appreciate all the support that you all give for me on Patreon, especially in these harsh economic times. So thank you all so much, but a special thanks to our philanthropy tier who go above and beyond and donate a little bit extra each month, which is so appreciative. So thank you for throwing this girl a coffee. Thank you for throwing her a bone. And thanks to Alex Cornejo, to Be Happy, to Bisa, to Damage3245, to Dana, to Devorin, to Destiny Marie, to Daniel, to Ichu, to Eric, to Fisho, to Ghostly Turnip, El Freya, Liam Posel, Lyndon, Murphy, Willie Morris, Translucent Men, Sunspots, Shimoyama, and James. Thank you all so much on Patreon for supporting me. I really appreciate it. All of my love. And thank you all on YouTube. Do your best. Share a like. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see Windbreaker week to week. It'll be on Fridays. And so if you don't forget and you want to subscribe, or if you just want to like the video and comment, they help as well. But yeah, so Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Anyway, I'm super excited for this episode. I don't know how this tournament's gonna get started, this 1v1. It's gonna be kind of interesting, but we're not gonna waste any more time. We're gonna find out. I am gonna skip the OP. I think I can still skip the OP. I think I can start watching the ED after next week, but I'll double check with the mods. But I am gonna still skip the OP if it comes to that. So there may be some editing on the video, but in any case, we're not gonna wait any more time. We're not gonna waste any more time. We're gonna start episode 5 of Windbreaker, and we're gonna do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's do it to it. This show is so much fun. I love this show so much. It's so much fun. You know what? You have to have like a 1v1 tournament arc to start us out because you need to get to know these characters. And what better way to get to know these characters and to get to know them than to have to face off against Shishitoren and see what's up. Now, okay, it's a 5-on-5, meaning that you have to have, here's what I think is going to go down. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all, I was thinking about this as Suo was facing the one guy, Kuruma, because I was like, okay, you've got 5-on-5. They're going to be saving, they're going to save Choji and Umemiya for last because they are the leaders. So, thus, the question is, what are we going to do? You can't have a clean sweep of Bofurin win every single match. As much as we would like that, you can't see that happening. Here's what I think is going to happen. Because I feel like those first two guys were good examples of the two cronies that went up against Kyotaro and Suo, and they were instantly taken out. And they got to like basically get karma dished right back to them, right? So right now, Bofurin's winning like 2-0 in terms. We still have Hiragi. And we have Sakura to face Togami and then the other person from the other team that Hiragi has beef with and history with. And then we have Umemiya versus Choji. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Hiragi is going to lose because I think Hiragi is, I love him as a character so far, and he's very sweet, and he's like a big tough guy, but has like a sweet, soft interior. But you could instantly tell the moment that one character came on the scene and was like, oh, hey, Hiragi, how it's been ages. And Hiragi was instantly like having stomach troubles from that moment on. I feel like Hiragi's going to lose against the one individual. Their name escapes me, but I think they're going to lose against them. And then we have Sakura, who's up against Togami. Now, Togami is insanely strong. Togami, I think, is the real leader. Choji's just the figurehead. Choji and Togami give me, and I said it in the reaction, I said it last week, they give me elder and younger Toguro vibes from Yu Yu Hakusho. And I mean that as the highest compliment. I really do. But they give me those vibes. So, I think Sakura's going to lose against Togami. I think that this is going to be his, because Sakura has it in his mind that he's like, I'm going to be on top. I'm going to beat Umemiya. I'm going to be the one to like be the leader of Bofurin, whatever. I think Sakura, as much as I love our sweet, innocent, stray cat-coated bean, as much as I love him, he needs to be knocked down just a little bitty peg. A little bitty peg. And I think when that happens, he's going to be like, oh, this is not as easy as I thought it would be. So, for two reasons. One, I think that Hiragi is going to lose to make it be like, oh, it's 2-1, now what? Then it's going to be Sakura, and Sakura's going to be like, well, if I win this match against Togami, we don't even have to fight Choji because we'll have won 3-2 and we automatically win. I think that Sakura is going to face Togami, but I think Togami is going to win because the whole thing with Shishitoren is if you lose a match, you're out of the group. Well, those two guys that lost today in this week's episode, it's like, yeah, they're going to lose because that's part of the lesson that Suo teaches them, right? And part of what Kyotaro's like, you disrespected the leader, you got to pay. So I don't think Togami, I think what I'm getting at is there's going to be a conflict in the final match because I feel like Togami is not going to, leave his own group. So I think he's going to win against Sakura. So he stays in Shishitoren. I think the one person's going to beat Hiragi, and then it's going to be 2-2. And then the final match will come down to Choji versus Umemiya. And what I think is going to happen is that's going to be interesting because obviously Umemiya is going to win. We're going to have to see Umamiya in action, and I'm really looking forward to that. Umamiya is going to win, but then that means Choji loses. And if Choji loses, we just had a spectacle of, in this episode, Togami saying, hey, you two dredges that couldn't beat Suo or Kyotaro, you're out of Shishitoren. If Choji, the leader, loses against Umamiya, is Togami going to be like, hit the road, Choji? You're out of the group? That's going to be interesting. But I think Sakura's going to lose against Togami, and it's going to be like a lesson, and it's going to establish like, oh, hey, I've got beef. I'm going to rematch you, and I've grown as a character, and it's going to set all that up. But I'm getting the cart before the horse at this point, but I think that's what's going to happen. And I'm really excited to see it go down, right? I'm excited to see it go down. So anyway, those are my predictions of how this matchup is going to go. But I'm glad that Kyotaro and Suo won their matches today. We have so much to talk about. I do like this opening where we have the little graffitied banner. It says, anyone past this point who causes pain, who brings destruction, who holds evil in their heart will be purged by Bofurin without exception. A sign at the entrance of the neighborhood with all of the tags, all the graffiti, everything. A sign posted by the strong. If you're in high school, who protect this town. This town is sketch. This town is sketchy as all get out. So yeah, Sakura came from out of town and interned for in high school. During patrol, saved a middle school student. And then the men who were chasing the middle school boy were with Shishitoren. And Sakura's actions have sparked an all-out war between the two. Choji Tomomiya, the leader of Shishitoren, suggested a 5-on-5 team match. And here we go. And then we get the OP, which we are going to skip and go right here. I did look it up. The mods told me that after next week, after episode 6, I can watch the OP, and I'm super excited. I can't watch the ED until after episode 8, so that's fine. I'll still get to see it for some episodes. That's okay. But yeah, we're going to wait and watch it then. So yeah, good to know trains work in this series. We're at the train. Or there's also like a steak diner. Was it say like Anna Meyer's steak or something? We'll see. And so they came onto the turf, and here we go. Choji with the dead eyes just get me every time. Also, Togami with the like wooden sandals. Here's the thing. I know another character who wears wooden sandals like that. His name is Urahara from Bleach, and he's freaking strong. And so I'm like, yeah, any character that comes up wearing wooden sandals, you're like, instantly watch out for them. They're probably deadly. But yeah, this one person who Hiragi knows, wearing the turtleneck and the sweet boots, looking non-binary as F, I'm like, I'm here for it. So we established that Shishitoren's turf is in the pub district, where there's lots of drinking joints and everything. And it's all boarded up throughout the day. The biggest pub district of them all. I'm like, how many districts are there in this? What is this, a Hunger Games? Are there 12 districts? So, and they say it just gets kind of shady at night. Then, I was not even thinking, Narai is there. He's the 6th person. There's no one to fight him. I love that Narai is just basically like, I'm here to document what happens and record it for posterity. He is basically the Krillin of this series, and I love him. I hope he gets an Android 18. That's all I can say. But I really like Narai. I like that he's just there to learn and document, and it's fun. I love him. He's like, please let me learn. And I love that Sakura's like, Sakura instantly just being like, fine. And Suo's like, okay. I ship Suo and Sakura so much already, and they've barely had any interactions, but this episode, I also kind of like, look, if you didn't want to ship Sakura and Suo, understandable. All ships are valid. I feel like you could also make the comment that Suo and Sakura's relationship is kind of similar to Umamiya and Hiragi's relationship a little bit, because Hiragi and Sakura both like overreact and like very tsundere-like, and then Umamiya's like, what? Although Umamiya is a lot more sneaky than Suo. Suo is cold disguised as gentlemanly, and we're going to talk about that. But yeah. I like he tells Hiragi to relax his shoulders, and I'm like, yes, all of my stress goes straight to my shoulders, so I understand that so much. And then I love whenever Mirai and Sakura are like, again, this series, we had to see Sakura's abs at some point, and here it's 4 minutes and 30 seconds in. We just had to see Sakura's abs. It's like a quota. The series has a quota. You will see his abdomen at some point during the episode, whether you like it or not. You will not get consent as far as seeing Sakura's abs go. So just get ready. But yeah, I like that on either side, when you think about it, if you look at this, there's a shot of Sakura, Kyotaro, Suo, and Mirai together. You have Sakura, who's the black and white haired protagonist. And then his 3 closest buddies so far, you have Kyotaro with the blue, Suo with the red, and Mirai with the yellow. So it's your primary colors right there, right? I also like that Kyotaro and Suo are on polar opposite sides because they're very different. They are polar opposite spectrums. And we kind of see that in this episode with how they fight. Which I really like. So we get to the end of the district and we get to the turf. I freaking love, he's like, I formally want to introduce you to Ori. To the Orion, the Shishitoren's lair. And I like that the one part of the sign has like fell off and it's just the Ori. Which means the cage. Very nice. Very Thunderdome. But on the outside. But inside, look. This series and its creativity, I am here for it. The idea that this entire stage, it's literally a stage, literally an arena that's a stage, that it is an abandoned movie theater. The creativity, you have the bowling pins, because some movie theaters have games. Some of them have games like a bowling, like a little mini bowling or like foosball or something like that. I've been to movie theaters that have like little gaming areas. And so this is one there. And then the graffiti and everything. It gives me, I love the creativity that it's an abandoned movie theater. I like the idea that we're getting all of these structures that are their layers, like Bofurin's is the school and this is the movie theater. It gives me 1991 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Foot Clan vibes, living. There's also kind of like this like childhood fantasy element. Because when you're a kid, I don't know if any of you all had this experience, but as a kid, I would always like fantasize like what it would be like if a bunch of adults had run of a movie theater. Or when I was in high school, we had this old high school that we were in. And it's like, what if we like could run the school for a day and we had access to this whole building and had it all to ourselves? It's kind of like a wish fulfillment fantasy in a way, in that you have these high school aged kids kind of having run of these structures that are usually owned by an authority or are accessible to younger audiences, but not necessarily controllable by them. So there's something kind of cool about that. I like it. But I love the creativity of what each like gang owns. Like the theater is so neat. The mezzanine area where they're like hanging off the balcony. There's all the graffiti. And then they have the chairs and the stage. Like I love it. It's great. And the idea that it's all on display. Really like it. I like it a lot. Also, like, there's all these different gangs of teenage boys. Where's the ladies? Is this entire town just run by women? Is this like World War II era? Like the women are running all of the shops and businesses and the guys are just like in gangs? What is this? Like literally all of the storefronts and everything are just ran by women. It's like, this is the most feminist series. So yeah, they're like, there's Umamiya and Hiragi. Show us your mugs! Show us your moves! Who are the punks in the back? Don't know. The moment they threw the can and Suo's just like, Like Suo's like, bitch, you littered. And Nirai's like, ah! Let it be known, Suo is not here for littering. He will not give you a ticket. He will break your hand before he gives you the ticket. The cage of wild beasts. Poor Nirai. They're like, you came here to study, didn't you? So look forward. Okay, so Choji stands up. Choji is like, this kid is manic. He is just hyper, has all of the energy, but he also has like the attention span of a goldfish. My dude. he has got like some neurodivergency where he's like, he needs to be stimulated. And then the fight between Kimura was just like, just completely bored him to go to sleep at that point. I like the Route 66 shirt that he was wearing though. That's really cute. So he's like, it's time for our super fun one-on-one matches to begin. So yeah, I kind of like that he's like, it turned into a big deal, but the main event is clearly Choji versus Umemiya. Everything else is leading up to it. So he says that the other matches don't count. He says that your wins or losses won't count. So it could honestly be like the way that Umemiya says it. I mean, Sakura could win and Hiragi could win. It could be that all of this just boils down to Umemiya versus Choji. There was a part of me that thought it was going to be like majority wins, like the best 3 out of 5, but I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see how it goes. But yeah, Sakura's like, well, whether it counts or not, I don't intend to lose. And Suo and Kyotaro's like, exactly. And Hiragi's like, well, you heard him. Yeah, oh my gosh. Umemiya is precious. I love Umemiya, where he's like, you're really reliable. Like, what a sweetheart. I'm terrified to see him versus Choji. Terrified. That's gonna be a really good match if they even show it to us. They'll probably do like off screen. I'll be really upset. So he's like, come on, Uma-chan, let's do it. And immediately Togumi's like, we're not gonna start out with the main event. What would be the point of everything else? So Arima and Kuruma are the two guys that battle in this episode. And Arima offers to go first against Kyotaro. And Suo's like, oh my, his name, the Sugishita, that is so hard for me to say, so I like Kyotaro. He's like, you're being passionately requested. I feel like Suo would write like BL fanfiction in his spare time. I really like how this episode showcases the two like very different styles of fighting that Kyotaro and Suo have. Kyotaro is just brute force. Like he KOs this one guy Arima in one punch, like just done. Like so much strength and brute force in one move. Whereas Suo, Kyotaro, you could call it like a mercy killing. He was just like, put old Yeller down like that and it's over. Suo likes to play with his food. Suo, like Kyotaro goes straight for the jugular and it's over. Suo likes to play with his food. He's like a cat that has a mouse and he's just like batting it around and playing with it till he eats it. They have so different fighting styles and it's so cool to see like both styles going on this. Also, the voice actor for Kyotaro, did this entire season take him 1 day of filming? I think he said like 2 sentences in this whole series, which is funny. I like that he's kind of a more quiet character. I like it. But yeah. And so then he looks over and Sakura's like, I haven't settled my score with you yet, so you better win. And he's like, bitch, please. He's like, are you listening? He's like, I'm telling you not to lose. I love these. Just like, duh. Like, of course I'm not going to lose. And then this guy messed up. Arima messed up. He's like, Yukinari Arima. He's quite the heavy hitter. Can we talk about Choji with his little feet going do 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 do? His little dee feet, so cute. And he's around Togumi the entire time. Again, giving Toguro brother vibes all the way. So yeah, Kurama is like sitting right behind him, looking pretty confident at Arima. Hiragi's bestie from the past is sitting a little distant from everybody. I feel like Hiragi's friend just has beef with Hiragi, and that's the only reason they're here. So yeah. And then Nirai's like, well, he's broken several ribs with one blow. And Suo's like, I don't think we should have to worry. They're pretty much the same type. You just have to have the right trigger. And he's like, I'd feel sorry for him to be put in the same league as that guy. And Sakura's like, how's this gonna go down? Now, Arima makes a mistake. Arima's like, wow, you have really irritating eyes. And so then he looks over at Umemiya and yells at him and says, hey, Umemiya, what's the matter? You ought not have said that. You pressed the Umemiya button. You pressed the San button. You didn't say Umemiya-san. Like, you just done goofed. You just done goofed. And I like at first, unless you were really, really paying attention in the previous 2 episodes, which I'm sure a lot of people did, I didn't catch it at first that that's what got... I thought it was taunting Umemiya that got Kiyotaro all riled up, which it did, but I missed the part what really got him riled up was that you did not give him the proper san, the proper inflection on the name, and the respectful suffix. You didn't do that. You ought to have done that. Yeah. And I love the line work. The line work instantly becoming like thicker in that moment. Amazing. Amazing. It looks so good. It just, it looked great. Can we just talk about how the choreography of the fights in this series are just beautiful? They look so good. Everything about this looks great. And I can tell this is such a adaptation of a manga because like the collage shots, everything, you're like, you just know the parts that are taken like directly from the manga. It's so good. Love it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Sakura's like weak sauce. Sakura saying weak sauce is amazing. What a goof. Yeah, I love Kiyotaro and Suo getting to show off in this episode. It was great. So yeah, and then Arima's out. And in this Shishitori world, they get kicked out. What's interesting is that you have, I also like Togami and Choji have like the green and red eyes, so they're like contrasting. Togami was not happy. Togami was pissed. He was not happy that Arima lost and was getting kicked out. He was pretty mad about that. Choji was just like, all right, he's out, let's go. But you could tell Togami kind of liked Arima and was kind of mad about it. But Choji's like, that's amazing. You're built really tough. Uh-huh. Yeah. And Togami's just kind of pissed about it. I feel like Togami has a little bit more loyalty towards the people that are within Shishitoren, and he kind of is mad that the rules are making it to where they have to kick him out. Whereas Choji's a loose cannon, and he doesn't really care who gets kicked out. He's just literally there for the strong people. Togami seems to like have a thing for some of them and kind of use it maybe as a family, which is kind of contradicting what their whole motto is. Man, Togami is kind of scary in this episode. I really am not looking forward to him like fighting. He's like, Choji, you don't get to fight him next. Sit tight and wait. He says sit tight and wait. He just shoves him back and Choji's like, oh! There's a part of me that feels like Choji's a little neurodivergent and a part of me that's just like, no, he just does not have the attention span. There's a lack of concern for the guy that lost, but he complimented the opponent. Mm-hmm. But yeah. Like, welcome back. And then Umemiya's like, it's okay, how's your cheek? Like, gives him the pat. And Kiyotaro's like, that's all Kiyotaro wanted. He just wanted to get praised by Umemiya. It's so cute. I love it. Yeah. And Sakura's like, well, he's built Ford tough. He's like, I did face him once, you know. I love the face where Narai and Suo are like, oh, are we getting along with Kiyotaro? Or are we giving him some compliments? He's like, no! Love it. But then, Umemiya looks over. While Narai and Sakura and them were fighting, Umemiya looks over. And Choji's like, how would you defeat long-haired Kun? He's like, Kame-chan. Yeah, Togami's treating this very seriously. Mm-hmm. So he's about to get up, and that, like, Togami was about to get up, like, Togami was about to face somebody, and then Choji's like, never mind, now we're gonna do the next person up. Like, Togami getting up is kind of, like, a little scary. And he's like, you too. Oh, okay, Togami was about to get up, not to face anybody, but was about to get up and take on, to take Arima off the stage. That's why he was getting up. And Choji's like, no, you don't have to do that. You guys, get rid of that. Like, the fact that Choji referred to Arima as that is pretty crazy. And they just dumped him off the stage, like in a trash heap. They just scooted him off the stage right in front of Hiragi and just dumped him. Like, just... Like, he just crumpled in front of Hiragi and Narai and them. That's insane. That's crazy. Is somebody going to carry him out after Kuruma leaves? Or is Kuruma going to carry him out now that he's lost to Suo? And of course, Sakura is like, hey... You guys are losers. And Narai's like, why are we picking fights right now? And then Suo says kids like them won't understand until they're defeated. I really like this conversation that Suo has about adulthood and kids. It gives me the vibe that Suo has had to grow up very early. We don't know about the incident. We don't learn anything about the eye incident, which is fine. We will find out one day, I'm sure. But he's very much like, the way that Suo is condescending is so interesting. And then they're like, Togumi's like, your guy isn't that opponent. Or no, Choji, he's like, that guy isn't your opponent. Stand back. Choji's terrifying when he's serious. He's like, he's like, no. He's like, next, who's up next? Choji's scary. So Suo's like, oh, it's my turn, clearly next. He's like, I know the order of the protagonists. Suo is very self-reflective. He knows. He knows this song and dance. He's like, well, you seem stressed out. Why don't we get some exercise? So Kuruma or Numa-chan goes up there. Yeah, Kanuma. There we go, Kanuma. And he's like, here we go. When you mentioned you came here to take the top spot, Sakura, I thought you were kind of stupid. And Sakura's like, he's like, are you picking a fight with me? I'll take you on. Love it. Love it. But he's like, no, I get it now. I thought your words were empty and meaningless. But your words and actions have a spine. I think that's awesome. And of course, Sakura's like, don't make me blush. I'll do the best I can so I can keep up with you. And Umamiya is like the biggest Suo and Sakura shipper so far because he's like, well, I mean, it seems like Suo's been inspired by someone. I was like, just say you ship them. Just say it. I love it. It's adorable. So he goes up there. I freaking love Suo. Nothing against Kyotaro. Kyotaro is amazing. Great job. Good job, my love. But Suo, the choreography, the movement. It was like watching a ballet. Like just the dancing, the choreography, the way that he holds his hands behind his back. Like it just, it's so good. It was so beautiful to watch. Like the animation of this was amazing. And nobody really knows how Suo fights. He was famous for being strong in middle school. You can tell he's strong by looking at him. He just gives, main character vibes. It's the eye patch. And he's like, yeah. And Umamiya's like, we don't really know much about Suo either. But he's like, he's a kind gentleman. So the thing is, he's a kind gentleman when he's not fighting. When he's not fighting, he's a kind gentleman. But Sakura points out, he's like, that man, a gentleman? No. He's like, what's that? Are you getting angry for your buddies? He's like, that's so different from the other day. I love it. You knew Suo was going to bring that back up. As soon as Arima lost and this guy was next, you knew it was going to get brought up. You're like, nope, it's going to all come back full circle. We all know it's happening. He's like, I've been hanging around Arima for a long time. And we get to see them back when they were kids. Sudden backstory. But yeah, we get to see Arima and him. I like that they have the same faces, but their haircuts are just a little different. My brother went down. It's only natural. I'm pissed off. I love that transition of young Kanama to current Kanama. That was a really good transition. That looked really good. And then he's like, you only whine when you're the victim. Oof. You're just like an impatient child. And so, yeah, there's something to that. There is something to Suo talking about adulthood versus childhood, giving off the vibes that he's had to grow up fast. So there's something to that. And Sakura's like, kind, you say. He's like, it was so tough for you, huh, little boy? Oh, Suo. And Sakura's like, yeah, that is not the face of a gentleman. That is cold. That face is cruel. Everything about it. It felt like the hand behind the back and the way that he just like spun him away. It felt like a matador bullfighting. It was just, it was so good. Like a conductor. I live. And his footwork, he's like, tantrums look cute, only up till grade school at best. And it's like his footwork and how light he is on his feet. Yeah. Lighten the loafers, you might say. Now, why don't we move on up to adulthood together? Freaking love that shot of him doing like the pose. Love it. Love it. He's like, come at me, bro. I just freaking love it. He's like, what just happened? And Sakura's like, okay, how am I going to fight this guy? He's like, how can I fight Suo? I don't know. Suo's style and Sakura's style are very different. Very, very different. God, it's so good. Even Choji and Togami were like enamored by Suo. I was like, that's quite a nasty spill you just had. I love it. I just, the way he moved that foot to dangle around his foot and kick him away. So good. So freaking good. Just tossed him around like a rag doll. And he says, what do you think you need to become an adult? That's the question of the day. Why are we talking about becoming adults? Which gets under Kanama's skin. He's like, what the hell are we going on about? Love it. His opponent is stumbling is what it looks like. I love Sakura is like leaning in to watch Suo fight and like trying to understand. Like, cut it out, Kanama. Are you mocking us or something? And he's like, and Umiya's like, well, he isn't just an ordinary gentleman. He doesn't even have a shred of kindness. I like that whenever Sakura says he has a craptastic personality, I don't know what other anime says the word craptastic, but there's some other anime that talks about somebody having a craptastic personality. I don't know if it's My Hero Academia or Jujutsu Kaisen. One of them does. He's tormenting his opponent and making a fool of him. He's playing with his food, is what Suo is doing. Again, Kyotaro is like, boom, we're done. I don't have time to mess with you. Suo's like, oh, I've got time. We'll make time. Yeah, I love it. He's like, if I was him, it'd make me want to die. It's brutal. Okay. He's like, come to think of it. Oh, so yeah. He's probably got affected by someone near him, which is Sakura. He's like, I'll do my best. And I love Sakura leaning in, trying to figure out how am I going to fight this guy. So then Suo like just basically just whacks him around like a damn rag doll. And that's who has the conversation with Kanama, talking about how to become an adult. But man, before that, Kanama looks over, Choji is asleep, and Kyotaro just looks so like over it. Like, really, this is the best you got? This is the best you can do? Making a mockery of all of us? Oh, yeah. He's like, no way. If I can't make something happen. And he tries to make something happen, but he does not have the imagination. Does not have the imagination to make it become a reality. Yep. And damn that. He was going to kick him right in the face. And he stops. Oh, and there's so many good shots of Suo. I want to put Suo and Kyotaro as the thumbnail, but there's so many good shots of them. It's like, which one do you choose? And he's like, I bet I know what's going through your head right now. An image of you becoming the person that you used to ridicule. Suo was like Michael Jordan in that documentary where he's like, and I took that personally. like Suo was that character. He's like, they mocked that guy and ridiculed him, and I took that personally. So I don't know if Suo has experience with that happening to him or if he's watched it happen to other people and he just hates it, but he was not having that. So yeah, and the way his eye is shot, he's like, that's the answer to the question. What you need to become an adult is an imagination. Love it. Freaking love it. And the way he looks down on him. Oh, Suo. He's like, now, once you got that down, the ball's in your court. Let's move on to the next step before you forget. What do you think you need to make that imagination more solid than it is now? Suo becoming like simultaneously a grade school kindergarten teacher and also this badass is just an amazing moment. Where he's like, okay, how do we make that imagination solid? You need it to become a reality. Uh-huh. And then he like gets that punch. He's like ready to just punch the bejesus out of him. And then Kanama's like, no. Kanama's like, the moment that Togami is like the moment that Kanama stopped fighting and was like, wait a minute. Then Togami's like, no, you're going to lose. Let's not even entertain the idea of making this go any further. He's like, don't humiliate us any further. It wouldn't be a humiliation since you're not one of us anymore. Yeah. And then Suo says becoming an adult means being able to empathize. Clearly, something has happened in Suo's past where there's been a lack of empathy and there's been like some people prejudiced against that he feels an injustice about. I want to know Suo's past, but I also know that we're going to have to wait a little bit for it. To do that, you need imagination and experience. I really love that line that in order to empathize, you need imagination and experience. Because one, you do need experience to know like the various situations people can get into. Even if you don't get in them yourself, you need to be able to have the experience and the age. I like that he says experience and not age, because being an adult does not necessarily involve an age range. It involves a maturity. And for a lot of people, it involves those experiences. So you can become an adult at a young age. You really can. I feel like Suo has become an adult at a young age. And you've had that experience, but also the imagination to understand how people are, to empathize with them, to understand how they're feeling and what they're going through. So I love that line so much. That's really, really good. And yeah, he's like, you've stepped up at least one level, right? That ending, that little thing where he walks off the stage. This episode was so perfect for Suo, because Suo, I feel like, is an actor in a lot of realms. He's not giving us everything. He's not revealing himself fully. We're just getting a little taste of Suo's backstory and not even his backstory. We're just getting a little taste of his personality. And I'm all in on Suo. I'm like, yes, Kiyotaro is great. I can see how him and Sakura, they're good matches for each other. But Suo, I'm like, yes, please. I'm all in for Suo. So love it. A gentleman indeed. This episode had a great title. Love that. So basically, and then the ending thing about the theater having all the Sharks movies that was just same shark. That's really cute. So Suo is one. Kiyotaro is one. Do I think Hiragi is going to beat their long lost childhood friend? I would say no, but you know what? Maybe they will. We'll see. And do I think that Sakura is going to beat Togami? I don't think Sakura is going to beat Togami, but I could be wrong. Maybe they'll clean sweep Shishitoren and like that's it. Maybe they'll do like a clean sweep of a Shishitoren and that'll be it, and that'll be our first gang down without any casualties. We'll see. But this episode was so much fun. I love the creativity. I like the way we're getting the character work. I like the choreography of the fight scenes. I like the music. It was fun. This show is just so creative and enjoyable. And I love just the spectacle of it. It's a fun time. So I'm going to try to wait for some comments, but I make no guarantees. This episode made me feel so good. After having a really hard day, it's so much fun to come to a series that makes you happy and makes you excited. And that's exactly where I am with this. So yeah. But anyway, so I'm excited to hear your thoughts about Suo and Kiyotaro down below, and about Arima and Kanama down below as well. Togami is being very mysterious, so we'll just have to see where that goes. But I feel like we're going to get Hiragi next, up against their childhood friend, and then we're going to save Sakura and Togami and Umemiya and Choji for last, clearly. But next week is the halfway point of the season. I don't like that. I'm glad we have 2 seasons, but I don't like that. We're going to be a fourth of the way through 2 seasons. That's wild. But anyway, I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe. Take care. And yes, I'm so excited, and I cannot wait to come back and talk more about Windbreaker. And I'll see you then. Bye.